What if I told you that ancient Celtic druids discovered something that modern science is just beginning to understand? Something so powerful it could transform how we connect as human beings forever? Picture this. Scattered across the Irish countryside, massive stone circles stand in perfect alignment, not by accident, not by chance. These ancient monuments mark something invisible yet measurable, something that could change everything you think you know about group consciousness and collective power. I'm talking about Celtic ley lines. And today, you're going to discover the 3-story codes that these ancient wisdom keepers used to activate what modern researchers now call group flow states. States so profound they can elevate an entire community's consciousness in minutes. You see, recent electromagnetic field research has validated what the Celts knew thousands of years ago. The Earth operates on a massive energy grid. Scientists at Stanford University have mapped these invisible highways of energy, finding they correspond almost exactly to ancient sacred site locations. The same locations where Celtic druids performed their most powerful group rituals. But here's what nobody talks about. In our digital age, we've become disconnected from these natural energy grids. We've lost the ability to tap into collective consciousness. We've forgotten how to create real, sustained group coherence. And that's costing us everything. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly connected to a group of people, not just socially, but energetically? When did you last experience that magical moment where everyone seemed to move as one mind, one heart, one unified field of awareness? By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to recreate those moments. You'll have the 3 Celtic story codes that can activate group flow states anywhere, anytime. And if you're ready to unlock this ancient power in your own life, then let's dive deep into this mystery together. But here's where ancient wisdom meets modern science in the most fascinating way. Stop. Right now, close your eyes for 3 seconds and feel the space around your body. Feel that? That invisible field you just sensed. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake's research proves that consciousness itself has structure. It has patterns. And these patterns can be activated through specific coordinates in space and time. The Celts called these coordinates sacred centers. Modern physics calls them electromagnetic convergence points. Building on this understanding, sacred geometry researchers have discovered that Celtic stone circles weren't placed randomly. They follow precise mathematical ratios, the same ratios we find in DNA structures and galaxy formations in the human heart's electrical field. The Celts understood something profound. Physical space affects consciousness, and consciousness affects physical space. The electromagnetic field research gets even more intriguing. Scientists have measured significant magnetic field variations at ancient Celtic sites. During equinoxes and solstices, these variations create what researchers call resonance windows, moments when the Earth's energy grid becomes hyperactive. This connects to another crucial discovery. Celtic druids mapped these windows with incredible precision. They developed practices, rituals, and what they called story codes to synchronize human consciousness with these natural energy peaks. They understood that collective consciousness isn't just a nice idea, it's a measurable phenomenon that follows natural laws. Here's where modern science validates ancient wisdom. Modern group dynamics research has identified something called collective coherence. When groups achieve this state, individual brainwaves synchronize, heart rhythms align. Even cellular activity harmonizes across multiple people. The Institute of Heart Math has documented this phenomenon extensively. Groups in coherent states show enhanced creativity, accelerated problem solving, and what researchers describe as field effects, extending beyond the immediate group. They're literally creating measurable changes in their environment. Here's the shocking part most people miss. This isn't just happening in laboratories, it's happening right now as you watch this video. The act of learning about collective consciousness is already shifting your energy field. You're not the same person who started watching 3 minutes ago. The Celts knew this. They just called it something different. They called it awakening the land. This scientific foundation is fascinating, but you're probably wondering, how do you actually use this knowledge? How do you tap into these energy fields and create these states with other people? That's where the ancient Celtic story codes come in. Now let me share the 3 story codes that change everything. The first story code is called the convergence point. This is the foundation of all Celtic group work. The secret of creating what they called sacred center gathering. Here's how it works. The Celts discovered that every landscape has natural convergence points. Places where underground water streams cross, where magnetic field lines intersect, where the Earth's energy naturally pools and intensifies. But here's the breakthrough. You don't need to find these natural points to create the effect. You can generate convergence points anywhere using specific positioning techniques. Start with 3 people minimum. Form a triangle, each person positioned exactly 7 feet apart. Face inward, creating what the Celts called the sacred center. This distance isn't arbitrary. 7 feet creates optimal resonance between human bioelectric fields without interference. Now here's the key. Each person becomes an active antenna, feet planted firmly on the earth, spine straight, crown of the head open to the sky. You're creating a 3-point energy circuit. The space in the center becomes charged, activated, alive. And here's what nobody expects the first time. People literally feel electricity in the air. Not metaphorically, actually. One woman told me it felt like standing under power lines. Another said his hair stood on end. This is real energy, measurable energy happening between human beings. Modern biofield research confirms this. Dr. Beverly Rubik's studies show that human biofields extend approximately 10 feet in all directions. When 3 biofields overlap at optimal distances, they create what physicists call constructive interference. The energy in the center space becomes measurably stronger than any individual field. The Celts took this further. They understood that intention focuses energy, so each person holds the same focused intention. We are one field of consciousness, not thinking it, feeling it, breathing it, becoming it. Within minutes, something shifts. People report feeling a tangible energy in the center space. Some describe it as warmth, others as tingling, others as a sense of presence. You're feeling the group field activate. You're experiencing the convergence point, but the convergence point is just the beginning. Once you've established the group field, you need to move the energy. You need to activate the spiral dance. Celtic culture understood spirals as the fundamental pattern of life force energy. From DNA to galaxies, from hurricanes to nautilus shells, life moves in spirals. The Celts encoded this wisdom into their most powerful group practices. The spiral dance takes your activated convergence point and sets it in motion. Here's how it works. Starting from your triangle formation, begin moving clockwise around the sacred center, not walking, flowing. Each step deliberate, rhythmic, synchronized with your breathing. In-breath as you lift each foot, out-breath as you place it down. Remember to move mindfully. This is gentle movement focused on energy flow, not physical exertion. The key is maintaining your energetic connection to the center while moving. You're not just walking around a space. You're spiraling energy upward, creating what the Celts called the sacred vortex. Modern vortex research in fluid dynamics shows us that spiral movement creates a coherent energy pattern that draws surrounding energy into its center. The Celts intuitively understood this principle and applied it to consciousness. As you move in the spiral pattern, something remarkable happens. Individual awareness begins to merge into group awareness. The boundaries between self and others start dissolving. You're not thinking about the next step, you're feeling it. The group mind is emerging. Celtic Druids would continue the spiral dance for specific durations tied to natural rhythms. 7 minutes for awakening, 14 minutes for deepening, 21 minutes for full immersion in group consciousness. But here's where the real magic happens. The spiral movement creates a measurable phenomenon. Bioenergetic researchers have documented that groups performing spiral movements show synchronized brainwave patterns within the first 3 minutes. Their individual nervous systems literally begin operating as one unified system. You're not just moving together. You're becoming a collective consciousness. Now the energy is moving, spiraling, alive. But to reach the deepest levels of group flow, you need the ultimate transformation, the harmonic weave. Sound was sacred to the Celts. They understood that vibration is the fundamental force that shapes reality. Long before modern physics discovered that matter is vibrating energy, Celtic Druids were using sound to weave group consciousness into unified fields of awareness. The harmonic weave transforms your moving energy spiral into a living symphony of human consciousness. Here's how it works. While maintaining your spiral movement, each person begins toning, not singing words, pure vocal sound. Start with whatever tone feels natural, then let it shift and change as the group field guides you. The magic happens in the spaces between the tones. As 3 or more voices weave together, they create what acoustics researchers call harmonic resonance. Overtones emerge that no single voice is producing. The group is literally creating sounds that transcend individual capability. Imagine hearing frequencies that seem to come from the earth itself, tones that make your entire body vibrate in harmony with the land. Celtic Druids call this the voice of the land speaking through us. Modern frequency research calls it entrainment. When sound waves interact, they naturally synchronize, creating complex harmonic patterns that affect consciousness directly. Dr. John Beaulieu's research on sound healing shows that harmonic toning activates the vagus nerve, shifting the entire nervous system into what researchers call social engagement mode. Groups producing harmonized sound show dramatic increases in oxytocin, the bonding hormone. They're biochemically merging into unified awareness. But the Celts took this even deeper. They understood that different landscapes respond to different frequencies. Mountain environments resonate with deeper tones. Water environments with higher frequencies. Forest settings with complex overtone patterns. As your group moves in spiral formation while creating harmonized sound, you're literally tuning into the frequency signature of your location. You're becoming harmonically aligned with the land itself. This is when the most profound experiences happen. People report feeling connected not just to each other, but to the living intelligence of the place, the trees, the earth, the sky. Everything becomes one interconnected field of awareness. You've activated all 3 story codes. The convergence point creates the foundation. The spiral dance moves the energy. The harmonic weave transforms it into living consciousness. Now that you understand each code individually, let me show you what happens when you combine all 3 together, something that will completely shift your understanding of human potential. Here's what actually happens in the group field when all 3 codes are active simultaneously. Individual awareness doesn't disappear. It expands. You remain completely yourself while simultaneously experiencing the consciousness of everyone else in the group. It's not loss of self, it's multiplication of self. Celtic Druids describe this state as seeing through the eyes of the land. Modern consciousness researchers call it transpersonal awareness. You're accessing levels of knowing that transcend individual thinking. Stop for a moment and feel this possibility. Imagine maintaining your complete sense of self while also feeling the thoughts, emotions, and insights of others in your group. It's like having access to a collective intelligence that's far greater than any individual mind. Dr. Dean Radin's research at the Institute of Noetic Sciences has documented measurable phenomena in groups achieving these states: enhanced intuition, synchronized physiological responses, even what appears to be direct information transfer between group members without verbal communication. Groups report solving complex problems effortlessly, accessing creative insights none of them had individually, feeling guided by an intelligence larger than their collective thinking. They're tapping into what the Celts called the wisdom of the ancestors, what modern researchers call the collective unconscious. But here's the most profound part. These experiences don't end when the practice ends. Participants report lasting changes in their ability to connect with others, increased empathy, enhanced intuitive abilities, a sense of being part of something larger than themselves. The group field experience rewires the brain for connection. Neuroplasticity research shows that consciousness practices literally change neural structure. You're not just having temporary experiences. You're evolving your capacity for collective awareness. Celtic communities understood this. They built their entire social structure around regular group field activation, weekly gatherings, seasonal celebrations, community decisions made from collective consciousness rather than individual opinion. Modern neuroscience is validating what they knew instinctively. Regular group coherence practices enhance social bonding, reduce stress hormones, boost immune function, and increase overall life satisfaction. Communities that practice together thrive together, but the benefits extend far beyond individual health. Groups that regularly achieve collective coherence become incredibly effective at manifesting shared visions. They operate from unified intention, backed by synchronized energy. They become powerful forces for positive change. The Institute of Heart Math has documented this in organizational settings. Teams that practice coherence techniques show significant improvements in communication, creativity, and performance. They're not just working together, they're thinking together. These experiences sound incredible, and they are. But before you dive in, let me share the one thing that determines whether you'll succeed with this work or struggle like most people do. Advanced practitioners learn to combine all three story codes with Celtic seasonal timing. The spring equinox for new beginnings, summer solstice for maximum power, autumn equinox for harvest and integration, winter solstice for deep wisdom access. Each season carries different energetic qualities that enhance specific aspects of group consciousness. Spring awakens collective vision. Summer amplifies manifestation power. Autumn deepens wisdom integration. Winter accesses ancestral knowledge. Another key factor is location selection for advanced practice. Natural settings with moving water enhance the spiral dance. Stone formations amplify the convergence point. Forest environments enrich the harmonic weave. Each landscape offers unique gifts to group consciousness. Equally important is group size optimization, which follows Celtic wisdom. 3 people minimum for stable energy triangle, 7 for enhanced complexity, 12 for maximum harmonic potential. Larger groups require advanced practitioners to maintain coherence. But here's what happens when communities embrace these practices long-term. Social problems that seemed impossible to solve begin resolving naturally. Conflicts dissolve in the light of expanded awareness. Communities develop what sociologists call collective wisdom for navigating complex challenges. This is exactly what Celtic communities experienced. Archaeological evidence shows they maintained remarkably peaceful, prosperous societies for centuries. No massive fortifications, no evidence of internal warfare. They created what we might call enlightened communities through regular group consciousness practices. You might be wondering, does this advanced practice actually work? The scientific evidence is remarkable. Here's the research that proves these ancient techniques create real, measurable changes. Dr. Lynn McTaggart's global consciousness experiments have involved over 100,000 participants worldwide. Groups focusing collective intention have produced measurable effects on everything from plant growth to crime rates to economic indicators. The research is clear. Focused group consciousness creates real-world change. The global peace meditation studies show even more dramatic results. When groups practice coherence techniques simultaneously worldwide, researchers document measurable decreases in violent crime, reduced emergency room visits, and improved social indicators in participating regions. Corporate applications are equally impressive. Companies implementing group coherence practices report average productivity increases of 23%, reduced employee turnover by 40%, and significant improvements in innovation metrics. Teams that think together achieve together. Athletic teams using these principles show remarkable results. The 1992 U.S. Olympic basketball dream team is often cited as an example of group flow in action. Individual superstars who learned to merge their consciousness into unified team awareness. They didn't just win, they redefined what was possible in team sports. Recovery communities applying these techniques report enhanced healing outcomes. Groups supporting each other through collective consciousness practices show higher long-term success rates than traditional, individual-focused approaches. Community healing amplifies individual healing. Celtic communities applied these principles to agriculture, craftsmanship, and governance. Historical records suggest they achieved remarkable sustainability and social harmony through what anthropologists now recognize as collective intelligence practices. But perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from modern intentional communities that have revived these ancient practices. Findhorn in Scotland, Damanhur in Italy, and numerous eco-villages worldwide report extraordinary achievements when residents practice regular group consciousness activation. These communities consistently demonstrate enhanced problem-solving abilities, accelerated learning, reduced conflict, and what residents describe as magical synchronicities in manifesting community goals. They're living proof that the Celtic approach to collective consciousness produces measurable results. But here's something incredible. You can actually taste this power right now, even through this video. Close your eyes and imagine you're standing in an ancient Celtic stone circle at sunrise. Feel your feet connected to the earth beneath you. Sense the energy of the land rising up through your body. Feel your spine straightening, your crown opening to receive energy from above. Now imagine two other people joining you, forming a perfect triangle. Feel the space in the center beginning to activate, to shimmer with living energy. You're creating a convergence point, a sacred center where consciousness can gather and intensify. Begin to sense movement, as if you're spiraling slowly around this activated center. Not physically moving, but energetically spiraling. Feel the boundaries between yourself and the others beginning to soften. Individual awareness expanding into group awareness. Now add sound. Hear the harmonic weaving of voices, creating overtones that seem to emerge from the land itself. Feel yourself becoming part of this living symphony of human consciousness. You're not losing yourself. You're finding yourself reflected in the expanded awareness of the group. Stay with this feeling for a moment. This is what's possible when you activate the 3 Celtic story codes. This is the potential that awaits you when you begin practicing with others. So how do you start using this in your own life? The beauty of these Celtic story codes is their simplicity. You don't need special equipment, expensive training, or perfect conditions. You need 3 willing people, 10 minutes, and openness to experience expanded consciousness together. Start small. Find 2 friends who share your interest in consciousness exploration. Choose a quiet space, preferably outdoors, where you won't be interrupted. Create your 7-foot triangle, establish your convergence point, and simply hold the intention to experience group consciousness together. Don't worry about getting it perfect. The Celts understood that intention is more important than technique. Your sincere desire to connect creates the foundation for everything else to unfold naturally. Common beginner mistakes to avoid. Don't overthink the process. These are natural human capacities, not complex skills requiring years of training. Don't force experiences. Let them emerge organically from the group field. Don't judge what happens. Every group consciousness experience is unique and valuable. Safety considerations are minimal but important. Start with people you trust. Begin with short sessions of 5 to 10 minutes. Stay grounded by maintaining physical contact with the earth. If anyone feels uncomfortable, simply open your eyes and return to normal awareness. For workplace applications, adapt the techniques to your environment. Conference room triangle formations work perfectly. Brief harmonic toning can be replaced with synchronized breathing. Even 3 minutes of group coherence practice before meetings dramatically improves team effectiveness. Family applications are especially powerful. Children naturally access group consciousness states. Family circles, using these techniques, report improved communication, reduce conflicts, and enhance mutual understanding. You're modeling for the next generation what healthy collective awareness looks like. Digital age adaptations are not only possible, but necessary. Virtual meetings can begin with brief coherence practices. Online communities can coordinate synchronized group consciousness sessions across distances. Technology becomes a tool for connection rather than separation. Maintaining regular practice is crucial for developing collective consciousness abilities. Weekly group sessions create the foundation. Monthly deeper practices maintain momentum. Seasonal gatherings with larger groups expand your capacity for collective awareness. Building your group starts with modeling the consciousness you want to see. As you embody the principles of group coherence in your daily interactions, you naturally attract others ready for expanded connection. Teaching others becomes sharing your direct experience rather than explaining concepts. Finding like-minded practitioners might be easier than you think. Meditation groups, yoga communities, environmental organizations, and spiritual centers often include people drawn to collective consciousness work. Social media groups focused on consciousness exploration can help you connect with local practitioners. Creating regular practice sessions requires consistency more than complexity. Same time, same place, same basic format allows the group field to deepen naturally. Many groups find that Sunday evenings work well for weekly gatherings, creating a sense of completion and preparation for the week ahead. Expanding the network happens organically as your group develops stability and depth. Experienced groups naturally mentor new groups. Regional gatherings allow multiple groups to experience larger field effects. National and international networks are forming around these ancient practices, returning to modern communities. The key is starting now, today, this week, with whatever resources you have available. The Celtic Druids didn't wait for perfect conditions. They worked with what was available and trusted the intelligence of consciousness itself to guide the process. Remember, every master was once a beginner. Every thriving community started with a few people willing to explore expanded possibilities together. You have everything you need to begin activating these ancient codes in your modern life. Your next step is simple but powerful. Try Story Code 1, the convergence point, with just 2 other people this week. Find your 7-foot triangle formation. Hold the intention of experiencing group consciousness together. Give it 10 minutes of sincere practice. You'll be amazed at what emerges from such simple beginnings. You'll taste what our ancestors knew. Human consciousness is designed for connection. We are meant to think together, feel together, create together, and evolve together. The 3 Celtic story codes I've shared today are your keys to unlocking this ancient power. The convergence point creates the foundation. The spiral dance moves the energy. The harmonic weave transforms it into living consciousness. But knowledge without application remains theoretical. Techniques without practice remain concepts. Your power lies not in understanding these codes, but in activating them with others who share your vision of expanded human connection. Science has validated what the Celts knew intuitively. We're not separate individuals struggling alone in the world. We're interconnected fields of consciousness capable of extraordinary collective achievement. When we remember how to merge our awareness skillfully, we become forces for positive transformation beyond our individual limitations. I've created a complete guide with detailed instructions for all 3 story codes, including timing charts, troubleshooting tips, and advanced practices for experienced groups. This comprehensive resource will accelerate your group consciousness journey and help you avoid common pitfalls. The link is in the description if you're ready to transform your understanding of human potential. But your real next step is practical application. This week, reach out to 2 people you trust. Share what you've learned today. Invite them to explore these ancient practices with you. Start with 10 minutes of simple triangle formation and convergence point activation. Share your experience in the comments below. Tell us, which of the 3 Celtic codes calls to you most strongly? What did you feel during the guided experience? Your breakthrough might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own transformation. The ancient Celts knew something we're just remembering. We're not meant to walk this path alone. Every person who activates these codes becomes part of a global awakening that's happening right now in communities worldwide. Picture this: communities worldwide rediscovering the power of collective consciousness. Groups of people thinking together to solve problems that seem impossible from individual perspectives. Organizations operating from unified vision backed by synchronized energy. This is not utopian fantasy. This is happening now. Subscribe now, because next week I'm revealing the advanced Celtic codes for manifestation and healing that were considered so powerful they were only taught to initiated druids. These techniques are being validated by quantum consciousness research, and I'll show you exactly how to use them safely in modern settings. The question isn't whether you're ready for this ancient power. The question is, what will you create when you remember who you truly are?